that I know what I want to study when I graduate from school. Do you want to know? Really? Of course I want to know. What will you study? I want to be a teacher, just like you. How did you become a great teacher? Thanks for that. Well, it was not easy, son. But I think it's important you know this story. How I got to graduate from college. Well, it all began when I was at the high school, the last year to be exact. I was not sure about what I wanted to study then. I mean, what career to study. So I decided not to study for the moment. I started working hard to save money so I can study a professional career later. I had a lot of different jobs, son. I was a carpenter, an assistant, a bricklayer, a seller, a waiter. Well, I had to work hard for some years, but unluckily, I couldn't save enough money to start studying. It was not easy. I had to work all day to pay the rent, food, and many other different things because I lived alone. But one day, that changed. I was spending too much time working and I could never save any money. I had studied in an institute. I studied English and then I started teaching English. But my salary was not so good. I didn't earn enough to pay the university. But one day I decided I was going to start, no matter what. And maybe you're asking, how? Well, I didn't even know how. I went to the admission office and asked for information about the career. They gave me all the information. It was not cheap at all. I still didn't know how I was going to pay for my studies, but I took the exam anyway. I mean, the university admission test. I passed that test and I got a vacancy. I was so happy, even when I didn't know how I could pay. Oh, but before that, I forgot to tell you. Before I took my exam, I told you I went to ask for information. Well, there was a woman who interviewed me to know my scale of payments. She asked me a lot of questions. Questions like, where do you live? What do you do for a living? Who are your parents? What are your plans for the future? How much do you earn a month? You know, I come from a poor city. My parents are poor and we went through difficult times. I explained that to the woman who was interviewing me. She was a psychologist. And then she told me something that was going to change the course of my life. She told me, you shouldn't study at this university. You are poor and you don't earn enough money. You should go to a public university. I was like, I didn't know what to answer. She continued, you better go to a public university because you won't be able to pay for this one. You will have a lot of problems. You can't do it. I was shocked by what She had told me I always wanted to go to that university because I knew it was one of the best in the country. Of course, it was not cheap, but I wanted to study there anyway. And when she said, "You can't do it," I felt terrible. I felt that all my dreams were collapsing. That day, I went to my apartment and I was thinking about what she had told me. I was so depressed. But then I got angry. Just because she told me I couldn't, I wasn't going to listen to her. Am I right? Well, the next day I went back to the office and paid to take my test. As I told you before, I passed the test and I was in. I was very happy, but I still didn't know how I was going to pay for the university. I think that psychologists motivated me to take that decision. Yeah, I mean, she told me I couldn't do it, and I didn't like what she said, so I did it. I know that sounds crazy, but it really happened. That's how my professional life started. Happily, I had a credit card the bank had given to me some months before, so I asked for a loan and they gave it to me. That's how I could pay the university, but it was a lot of money anyway. The money I earned every month wasn't enough. By my second year of college, I already owed the bank a lot of money, so I had to find a solution. Otherwise, I couldn't continue studying. I investigated a lot to find a solution. Then I find out that the university was given a scholarship, but this scholarship was only for the best students in the university. And I was not the best. In fact, when I was at the school, I failed maths many times and I had to go to the summer school to fix it. I was not a good student, but I had to do it. This time, I had no option. I had to be the best student. If I wanted to continue studying, I had to become the best student and have high grades. It was not easy, but I had to do it anyway. So I decided to work really hard to reach that goal. And you know what the worst thing was? That I had to be the best student and work at the same time. Yeah, I had to keep working as a teacher to pay the university, the bank loan, and all my stuff. I spent a lot of nights studying hard. Sometimes I didn't sleep because I had an important exam the next morning. I had to get a perfect score if I wanted to get that scholarship. It was not easy. I didn't eat well. Remember, I lived alone, and most of the times I didn't have enough time to cook some healthy food. So I sometimes just fried something to eat or ordered something to eat for delivery. But all those efforts one day paid off. Seriously, I worked hard and I became the best student in the university. I got the scholarship, even when I had always been the worst student. Can you believe it? I graduated from university and now here I am. I am a licensed English teacher. I earn enough money to pay the rent and everything. I'm so happy. I just want to tell you that if you want something to happen, don't just wait for it to happen. Do something about it. Whatever, but try to do something. You can do it. I trust you. That story was amazing. Thank you, Dad. I promise I will work hard to reach my dreams. I'm sure you will. I trust you. Don't give up. You can do it. I hope you liked this story. If you could improve your English a little more, please subscribe to the channel and share this video with a friend. Thank you very much for your support. Take care.